Number 9.
Detroit don't always love their coach, lost 2 of their last 3 games, but they're 5-0 when they rush for over 100 yards. So it's pretty clear the key to this team. When Jared Goff's got an extra beat, when they've got the run game, Detroit's a solid franchise. Are they a Super Bowl winning team? Not as long as McVay and Stafford are in the NFC and Howie Roseman's running the Eagles, in my opinion. Detroit 9.
How does that make sense when Jared Goff and the Lions beat McVay and Stafford in the playoffs? I saw this. I did the full top 10. So check that video out. But I had to immediately jump in here and do this video right away. I had to because I just disagree with the take so much, and I forgot to mention it in the top 10 clip. But the implication there is pretty much that you could never pass or never be as great as, say, the Eagles or the Rams. Listen, those teams deserve tremendous respect. So I encourage you all not to like jump in the comments section and be like, oh, the Eagles are nothing or the Rams are nothing. Like, I wouldn't do that either. The Eagles obviously just winning the Super Bowl, going to multiple Super Bowls, rolling the Chiefs, all that good stuff. McVay and Stafford are great. They are special. They are a great duo. If you're a Lions fan, I mean, I think you should understand obviously how great Matthew Stafford is. But when Colin's like, I don't always like their coach, Dan Campbell, a couple weeks ago, I did the video. He said Dan Campbell is amazing. He should be the coach for the Detroit Lions forever. Now, that's what he said. He gave a whole OD, and he said, this is probably the most I've ever been wrong. He goes, in the history of where Colin is right and where Colin is wrong, this is the worst I've ever been wrong or something. And now he's like, I don't always like their coach. And it's like, well, wait, what? And the Lions have shown that they can build amazing teams, that they can build elite teams. So I don't get it, right? Like, they do have an issue with staying fully healthy, and that is something that they have to figure out, right? Whether it's the way how they work and do, run their camp, run practices, whatever it may be, or it's just bad luck and it's just the way how it's been. But also it's like, oh, the formula is run the ball and protect your quarterback. It's like that, it's like that for every single team. Like he went on to talk about the Kansas City Chiefs and say, listen, the secret to being the Chiefs is get to Patrick Mahomes. And it's like, yeah, he's like, Patrick Mahomes is not very good when he's being hit. And it's like, well, yeah, most quarterbacks aren't. Like, that's just the way it works. Like, every single team, protect your quarterback, run the ball. When you can protect your quarterback, run the ball, and ask your quarterback to do less, life is really easy. Oh, and play great defense and get after the other team's quarterback. You do that, you're going to win a lot of games. Football is pretty simple. So it's just, it's a trap that's easy to fall into when talking about football. And I recognized this about 1.5 years or so ago, really, when I first started making videos. I just realized, like, man, like I had such angst because I was like, I'd share a take about the Lions or whoever, and I'd be like, I could pretty much have this exact same take for every single team or going into a game. I'm like, listen, this is what the Lions need to do to be able to come away with this win. And I'm like, I could have that same take about every single team that's playing, and that it's just like, it's just all so similar. Like, everything is so much the same. There's only so many different ways to do something. And so, like, how do you find your way through? And so we can all find ourselves in that trap. We really can. And so I always try to find different ways to have either the same or different conversations. And with the Lions right now, for me, their 2 biggest issues, their biggest things that are holding them back. And it's not to say that it's this massive liability or this massive issue that makes them, it's a difference between them winning at all and being, a bottom 10 team, is coordinating and health. Let's just throw health out there and just be like, okay, you're healthy. Now, the thing that the Lions have not shown quite yet, and this is what I had talked about throughout the course of the season, and why I was like, listen, I'm really impressed with the Lions and love what they're doing, but the Lions, to me, will always be able to dominate and roll bad teams, and because that is more about Dan Campbell than the coordinating than anything. Like, that is about getting this team ready to play and just never downplaying or underestimating your opponent. And combined with that roster, you're just always going to own and dominate these teams. And what what the Lions haven't shown quite yet, and this did kind of play out against the Chiefs, is specifically offensive play calling, and the resiliency and the flexibility and the adaptability throughout the course of a game to be like, hey, things aren't going as planned right now. We need an answer. And they haven't shown that quite yet. And they didn't show that against specifically the Chiefs. And they didn't show that against the Vikings, against a tough defense, a tough divisional opponent. And now, the two coordinators who I have the biggest questions for, the Eagles and the Lions, both haven't shown to be able to do that quite yet. Both haven't been shown to be like, I have an answer. We're going up against a brutal defense. We're going up against an elite team. We can't stop that other quarterback from scoring. Like, I have an answer to keep this momentum going. And you need that. You need that. And it's not to say that both coordinators can't, but obviously we're talking about the Lions here. It's just that they haven't done it quite yet. They haven't shown it quite yet. And so that is what makes me the most uncomfortable with the Detroit Lions. And again, I always try to look at it from, if I'm a Lions fan, any team I'm a Lions fan, or I have to play the Lions, right? I'm the Rams, I'm the Eagles, I'm whatever. And my default is actually looking at it from the other perspective of like, if I have to play this team and I would still fear the Lions, if I'm the Eagles, if I'm the Rams, if I'm the Seahawks, I'm the Bucks, I'm any team that has to, play the Lions to get to that next level, to get to the next round in the playoffs, whatever. Like, there's still going to be a ton of fear around the Lions because they are always ready to play. They do have those dudes there. I think the fine-tuning is health. How healthy are you? And can your coach take it to the next step? The Buffalo Bills versus the Kansas City Chiefs. Listen, Josh Allen obviously played flawlessly and played perfect. But that game was really won by execution and coaching. It wasn't with Josh Allen putting the team on his back and making these outrageous plays. Again, he played unbelievable and played great. But the difference is that the Bills, for one of the few times, were able to coach and execute at an incredibly high level. They had a perfect answer for Patrick Mahomes and that Kansas City Chiefs offense. And their offense, they had perfect play calling, and they leaned into the run. Like they had their game plan, and they executed it perfectly. And like that is what it, like 99% of the time, man, when you're playing the best teams, when you're getting out there, when you're in the playoffs, like that's what it comes down to. Yes, you're going to have some of those moments where you need your quarterback to be a hero, where you need your running back to break that tackle and get those extra 2 yards to convert that down. Like, yeah, you're going to need that crazy catch by Amon-Ra St. Brown or whatever it may be. But the bulk of the game, the foundation of the game, it's coaching and execution. It's coaching and execution. Do you and now it's a game where you're down by 7 going into the third quarter. Like, do you have an answer out of that third quarter to get those points, to get that touchdown? And we haven't seen the Lions have that quite yet. We haven't seen the Lions have that answer in those moments right now. And that is this, and in seasons past, they have had that answer. And you could say with confidence, okay, no, not worried here. And it is something they still have to, they kind of work through and figure out. But I'm just not going to go as extreme and just be like, as long as the Rams are there and as long as Eagles are there, the Lions aren't there. And I'm just like, that doesn't really make any sense to me whatsoever. None. And again, I think, the Rams have struggled to beat great teams. The Eagles have beat some great teams, but also struggled as well. I mean, you're always going to have a little bit of everything. And I still think there's a massive question mark about their defensive coordinator, their offensive coordinator, Kevin Patullo. So, and then who's left is the Seahawks. Fascinating team right now with the rise of Sam Darnold in them. 49ers obviously are banged up, but still winning games somehow. So I still think the NFC and the AFC are wide open. I really do. So I'm not going to put a ceiling on any team right now of who can or can't win a Super Bowl It just doesn't make much sense to me. But going up against the Vikings, I'm not going to just chalk that up to just a tough divisional game. The Lions did not have an answer. They could not build momentum. Anytime it felt like they could build momentum, it then got immediately popped or there was an immediate answer by Minnesota. And that's just not what I'm used to seeing out of Detroit. I'm used to them building that momentum, or if another team is building momentum, they have an answer to slow that down. And you know, that's the way games are won and lost. You know, there was a run with the Lions where I forget exactly, and I don't have my notes right next to me. But essentially, it was like Vikings have a huge play, you like score a touchdown or something, and then now the Lions need to kind of build up some momentum, and it's like, nope, Goff takes a huge sack, and now you got to punt, and then the Vikings like score again, or you know, it's like it's the chain of events that I always refer to as when you find like a chunk in the middle of the game or part of the game where you're like, wow, it was good for the one team, bad for the other team, good for the other team, good for the other team. And it ends up being a difference in so many games. And the Lions were never able to have that, even when it felt like, okay, they're kind of starting to build that boom Blackfield goal, right? Like that was just the story for the Lions that game. And, you know, it is something that they have to find their way through right now. But those are just my thoughts. I'd absolutely love to hear yours. What do you guys all think about Detroit Lions falling to 9th right now? And the fact that they're just never going to be able to win a Super Bowl? I guess let me know your thoughts in the comments below. I read every single comment. So whether you agree with me or disagree with me, either way, let's get in some discussions. Let's get in some fights. But ultimately, let's just have some fun. And please do consider subscribing. We are building an amazing community here, and absolutely love to see you part of it. I want to build something that we all generally feel connected to, something that we're really excited to be part of. I think we're all on our way to doing it. Please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, as it really does help with the visibility and the algorithm. Thank you so much. See you next time.